How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We have some news. We have some news about inflows going into the Bitcoin ETFs. We have news about massive crashes from stocks that have done pretty well, actually. We also have news about Gemini and about people voting for Bitcoin specific reasons. I have a lot to cover. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. I also am going to talk about Toshi, but we'll talk about that later. If you do want to trade crypto, there's a link to Margex underneath the video. And to be clear, I do like to leverage trade. I know some people feel a little bit like they don't really fully understand it, which is why I've done some videos on the channel talking about different strategies. If you do want to check those out, just look up My Financial Friend Trading or My Financial Friend Leverage Trading. And there's the top link below Toshi over that will take you over to Margex. Now, let's first do a little bit of housekeeping. Gemini, users of the Earn program received a significant amount of money here today. I had someone reach out, say that they got 97% of their assets. So I took a look online, and sure enough, 97% of digital assets were returned to earned users. $1 billion more than when Genesis halted withdrawals. Okay, now keep in mind, this is 97% in kind. So this means that if you had 1 Bitcoin, you got 0.97 Bitcoin back, which is actually really good. So they apparently are going to send out more in the future. That's what I've heard. I can't confirm that here. But Gemini, also the parent company, has contributed $50 million to the Earn users' recovery. I think this is kind of a show of good faith. Like, hey, we screwed up, but we will give you some of the money that we make, basically. So that's great news. That rightfully pointed out to me could be a bit of a cause of maybe some selling pressure over the next day. Some people that literally have not been able to sell for the last year and a half, maybe take a little bit of profits. So that may be something that we have to pay attention to, but I'm not worried about it because I think it's just a drop in the bucket long term, just barely worth mentioning here. Okay, I'm not going to show you what I voted for here, but Michael Saylor says, will Bitcoin and crypto policy determine who gets your vote for the next president? Now, 79.2% of respondents said yes, 20.8% said no. I don't like to get too political, which is why I'm not showing my vote here, but that's 80%, and there are 15,000 people that have voted over the first 3 hours. So there are a lot of crypto and Bitcoin people that are now voting for whoever's more pro-Bitcoin and crypto. Really interesting here. And Bitcoin continues to be withdrawn. About 1,200 Bitcoin or $83 million were just withdrawn from Binance. Now, I want to cover some of the inflows, but it's interesting. We have Bitcoin kind of going sideways, right? People are getting bored. I've been talking about this. Like, people are annoyed because we were just at 70,000 and it looked like we were going to break up, and then we went down to 67 or so. Keep in mind, this is pretty muted price action. Like, we were just at 56,000 a couple weeks ago. There are companies, like growth companies, that move more than this in a day. I mean, CRM just announced earnings, Salesforce, and people are so worried about the risk of crypto. It fell down 15.5% after hours. Okay, 15.5%. I don't think we've seen Bitcoin move 15.5% in a long time, actually, throughout the day. I think it's been probably, a year plus, probably the bear market, if we even fell down 15% then. And keep in mind, this is what the company's revenue and free cash flow looks like right now. Like, they're up 6% in the year, and that was before this drop. So now they're at 256 at the beginning of the year. Now they're at 228. So they're down 10%. And this is what their free cash flow looks like. Like, the year over year on this is nuts. It's up 50% year over year. And this is through the first 2 quarters. Keep in mind, the majority of the cash flow is usually in the first 2 quarters of the year for some reason on Salesforce. And I think their quarters are a little bit off. Q2 is actually Q1. But that is insane. This is a company that's going and buying back shares, and I have no position in the company at the time of this, but I may be interested in this. Okay, they're at a free cash flow yield of 4.3%. Okay, but let's get back to the fact at hand. I'm just trying to say, like, this company is growing nicely. It's growing free cash flow. It's growing EBITDA, and even this can fall 15.5% after earnings. And the reason that's falling is because they see estimated Q2 revenue of 9.2 to 9.25 versus the estimated 9.35. Okay, all right. They gave a little bit of a lower guidance moving forward. Big deal. It's crazy, but that is what can happen with a stock. So just keep that in mind when you're worried about the risk in Bitcoin. There are other risky assets as well. Now, I want to talk about Toshi, and then we'll talk about some inflow data and some other Bitcoin news. It seems like day after day, the meme coins continue to run. We see some of the top meme coins continuously up 5, 10, 15%, even on kind of sideways days. One meme coin that I'm watching is Toshi. Now, this is a partner of the channel. This is the biggest meme coin on Base, and it's named after the beloved cat, named after Satoshi Nakamoto of Brian Armstrong. Now, I think this is going to be an interesting one. They're already around $100 million market cap, so they are large, but they're still under the likes of the top 100 cryptocurrencies. They're right around 400 something, and they are just about fully diluted as well, so they're not dumping a bunch of tokens. Now, they do have some tools that they're working on: multi-sender, token locker, a swap, a token launcher, a launchpad. And if you do want to buy them, you can see some of the exchanges here: Uniswap, OKX, LlamaSwap, Bitmart, BingX. It's interesting, though, because we do have the Base narrative playing out with a lot of people moving over to Base, with it being cheaper, faster, that kind of thing. And we do have on-chain summer kicking off with a lot of giveaways for Base. For example, this is for 20 ETH in total rewards, but I've seen other ones for up to 600 ETH, $2 million in prizes, grants, and gas credits coming over to Base. So it's going to be interesting to watch this, but if you do want to check them out, as I said, they're a partner of the channel. You can find them underneath the video. I'll leave a couple links to them. Okay, this is really, really interesting. Eric Balkana says, more context on just how absurd Ibit is. There's only been one ETF in history to reach 20 billion in assets in under 1,000 days, JEPI, which did it in 985 days. Ibit is a hair away at 137 days. I mean, look how quickly this happened to go up to 15 billion. Like, it took, 60 days? And now, 15 to 20 has been a little bit more of a fight, but it took just another 60 days. And now it's just about to blow out every other ETF in existence by a factor of about 6. Right? So this is absolutely insane how successful this Ibit ETF is. And as I've shown in videos earlier today, BlackRock is just starting to allocate towards Ibit through some of their other portfolios. They have levers where they can just buy $500 million, $1 billion, $5 billion if they really want to, $5 billion in Ibit shares. So that is what they can do, even outside of other investors buying Ibit, right? So this is a time where you probably want to be dialed in. We're seeing one of the most successful launches of crypto or of traditional assets ever, the most successful launch ever. So there are people buying, there are countries buying, there are ETFs buying, there are pensions buying, there are nation states buying. Who isn't buying right now? Banks are buying, right? And so, yeah, again, just have to kind of wait out some of this information, wait out some of this time before we move to the next leg of the bull market. Now, speaking of waiting, you don't have to wait to hear anything about the ETF flows here today, because I'm going to cover it right now. As of now, today's trading volume was a little bit low, right? 559 million for Ibit, 256 million for GBTC, FBTC with 221 million. We had the first day of the post-flippening, so Ibit is bigger than GBTC. Now, so far, we've just seen a couple of the ETFs come in. GBTC with a negative $31 million day, and ARK B with a plus $4 million day. So we still have some big hitters coming in. FBTC and Ibit are going to announce here soon. It should be coming through any minute. Maybe I'll even update this video. Maybe you won't even see this. We'll see. But if you do want to see future videos, hit subscribe. If you do want to trade crypto, there's that link to Margex underneath the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on all this news underneath the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.